If someone had told me a lonely billionaire would send me $100,000 in return, I would have called them crazy. Maya Cruz had just $38 left in her account when she sent the money. It was meant for her landlord $1,100 to delay an eviction. She was in a rush, her phone acting up, and her hands still damp from her shift at the diner when she hit send, not realizing she had misstepped the last digit. It wasn't until 2 hours later that her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "This must be a mistake. You sent $100. I don't think you meant to." Maya froze. She quickly checked the transaction. Wrong number, wrong person. Now, she was $100 closer to being homeless. She replied right away, "Please send it back. I really need it. It was an accident." The typing bubble appeared, then vanished, then appeared again, then disappeared. Done. The money was returned. Relief flooded her so fast her knees buckled. She dropped onto the couch, which was actually a mattress on the floor, and exhaled. "Thank you. Seriously, you saved my life." "I doubt that, but you're welcome." She meant to leave it there. She had no energy for conversation, especially not with strangers, but after a minute, another message arrived. "No one's ever said I saved their life. I'm not sure I deserve that." Maya blinked, then frowned. She stared at the message like it was a riddle. "Well, I didn't die today, so I guess that's something." A pause. "Then what's your name?" Against her better judgment, she replied, "Maya. Celine." No last name, no emojis, no flirting, just strange politeness. Hours passed. Maya thought it was over. But the next morning, a notification shattered her silence. A deposit, $100,000. Maya dropped her phone, picked it up again, checked 5 times. It was real. Attached to it was a message. "Now you've really been saved. Consider this a thank you for the most honest message I've gotten in a decade. If it makes you uncomfortable, donate it or spend it or burn it. But if you're curious, I'd like to meet." Maya stared at the screen, mouth open. Her first thought, scam. Her second, drug deal. Her third, what kind of lunatic sends 6 figures to a stranger because of one text? Her phone vibrated again. "I'm not a scam. I'm not a criminal. I just have too much money and not enough reasons to care. But for some reason, your mistake made me care. Let me buy you coffee." No strings, no photos, no headlines, just me. Maya's fingers hovered over the screen. She knew she should say no. She was broke, not stupid. But something about the way the messages were written, calm, composed, almost tired, made her hesitate. She typed, "What's the catch?" "That you show up. That's all." "Where?" "I'll send a car and ANDA. You're curious. I can feel it. Say yes." Maya didn't know what she was doing, but she typed the word anyway. Yes. The car arrived at exactly 300 p.m. black, silent, shiny like glass that never touched dirt. Maya stood on the curb outside her apartment building, backpack over one shoulder, arms crossed, trying not to look like someone who'd barely slept because she spent all night rereading one text message. The driver stepped out, nodded, and opened the door without saying a word. "You're not going to drug me and sell my organs, right?" Maya muttered as she slid inside. The driver didn't even blink. The interior smelled like leather and oranges. The windows tinted so dark she could barely see outside. She stared at her reflection in the glass and tried to pretend her heart wasn't racing. No address was given, no name, just the steady hum of tires against pavement, the slow turn of unfamiliar streets, until finally the car stopped in front of what looked like a private library, carved into the bones of an old bank. The building was tall, narrow, intimidating. The driver opened her door again. "You're expected." Maya swallowed hard, adjusted her backpack, and stepped into the unknown. Inside, the space was dim and warm, filled with dark wood, gold accents, and the faint smell of old books and clean linen. A hostess approached. "Miss Cruz, Maya nodded. Follow me. She was led through a narrow hallway, past walls lined with modern art and antique mirrors until they reached a private room, enclosed by glass and velvet. In the center, a single table, 2 chairs, one occupied. Celine Ashford did not look like Maya had imagined. She looked human, not dramatic, not dripping in diamonds. She wore a simple black turtleneck and tailored slacks. Her hair was cut short, clean, and elegant, and her eyes were sharp enough to slice through steel. But they weren't cold. They were watchful, tired, curious. Maya, she said, standing as Maya entered. Thanks for coming. Maya blinked. You're real sometimes. Celine extended a hand. Maya hesitated, then shook it. Her grip was firm, but not aggressive. Her skin cool. Maya sat slowly. So, this is the part where you explain why you sent me $100 grand and didn't ask for a kidney. Celine smiled just slightly. I liked how you spoke to me, or didn't speak really. You didn't ask for anything. You didn't flatter. You didn't beg. I just wanted my money back. Exactly. It was refreshing. Maya tilted her head. That's worth 6 figures to me. Yes. You're either insane or very lonely. Celine's eyes didn't flinch. Both. Maya leaned back. You're really a billionaire. Yes. How? Tech infrastructure. I built a system people couldn't stop using. Then I sold it. Now I have money and no one who talks to me like I'm a person. And you thought I would. You didn't flinch when I texted you. You didn't ask for more. You just asked for what was yours. Then said thank you. Most people don't bother with that. Maya crossed her arms. So what do you want now? Coffee? Conversation? No strings. That's it. That's all? The server arrived. Celine ordered black tea. Maya asked for something with caramel and caffeine. The server vanished. They were alone again. You don't look like I expected. Maya said. How did you expect me to look? Older, colder, more entitled. I am entitled, but I tried to keep it quiet. Maya smirked. And what do you expect from me? Honesty. The thing that started this. Maya tapped her fingers on the table. Okay, honest moment. I still think this might be a scam. Fair. Also, honest. I haven't had a proper meal in 2 days, and I might cry if you order me food. Then we'll order food. Like real food. Whatever you want. Maya paused. You don't scare me. Celine tilted her head. No, not yet. Most people pretend I do. I don't pretend for rich people. Good. The food arrived. Celine barely touched hers. Maya devoured every bite. They talked about nothing and everything. Favorite books, worst jobs, the smell of subway stations in summer. Celine listened like she'd forgotten how. Maya spoke like she wasn't supposed to. 2 hours passed, then 3. The room faded. The silence between them didn't grow uncomfortable. It grew thick, alive. At the end of the meal, Celine reached into her coat and slid a small envelope across the table. This is not a bribe, she said. Maya raised an eyebrow. Okay. It's a key to a place I'm not sure I want to open yet. But if you do, I'd like you to see it. A key to what? My world. Maya hesitated. Why me? Because you didn't ask for it. Maya picked up the envelope. Didn't open it. Just looked at her. This is the strangest date I've ever been on. Then it worked. Celine stood. I'd like to see you again. You're not going to ghost me now. No. You're not someone people forget. Maya stood too. She felt shorter than usual, but not small. All right, then. Celine Ashford. Yes, Maya Cruz. Next time you're coming to my world, deal. Celine had never been in a building that smelled like burnt toast and shampoo. That's what she noticed first as she stood in the narrow stairwell of Maya's apartment complex, a paper bag of pastries in one hand, her other resting awkwardly on the chipped wooden rail. She was overdressed, not by much, but enough to feel it. Black blazer, tailored pants, low heels. She had offered to send a car. Maya had laughed. If you show up in a black SUV with tinted windows and a security guy named Eric, I'm slamming the door in your face. So, she drove herself, parked 3 blocks away, walked, got stared at like she was lost. She knocked once. The door opened halfway. Maya stood in sweatpants, an oversized hoodie, and socks with little oranges on them. Her hair was damp, her skin bare. She blinked. You came? You said I had to. I didn't think you actually would. Celine lifted the paper bag. I brought food. Maya stepped aside. Then you can come in. The apartment was small. 1 room really. Kitchenette against the wall. Mattress in the corner. A tiny table with defolding chairs. Books stacked in uneven towers beside the door. It smelled like coffee and lavender detergent. Celine stood in the middle of it all like she was on another planet. You live here? Unfortunately, Maya opened the bag, pulled out a croissant. Fancy. Important. You're absurd. You invited me. I was curious to see how you look without money between us. And how do I look? Maya bit into the croissant, chewed thoughtfully, like someone trying very hard to look like she's not uncomfortable. Celine sighed and unbuttoned her blazer. Better almost. You know, most people would be flattered by 6 figures and a croissant. I'm not most people. That's why I'm here. They sat at the tiny table. Their knees touched under it. Celine looked around then at Maya. Is it hard existing living like this? Maya shrugged. Some days mostly I'm used to it. You shouldn't have to be, says the billionaire. I didn't mean it like that. Then how did you mean it? Celine hesitated. I mean, I forget this is how most people live. And I hate that I forget. It makes me feel like I've failed something. You haven't failed. You've just gotten used to ease. That's not a sin. Feels like one. Maya's voice softened. You came. You didn't flinch at the peeling walls. You didn't leave. I didn't want to. Then that's enough. They sat in silence. Not tense, just aware. Then Maya said, so what's in that key you gave me? A penthouse on the 53rd floor of a building I haven't lived in for 6 months. Why not? Too big. Too many windows. Too many people who want things. And what do you want? Celine looked at her. I haven't figured it out, but I think I'm getting closer because of me. Because of how you look at me. How do I look at you? Like I'm not a number. Maya smiled slow. I don't even know what number you are. 30 for billion. Maya choked on her tea. You're joking. No, that's disgusting. I agree. You could probably buy the entire country I grew up in. And yet, I'd still rather be in your kitchen, sipping tea that tastes like grass. It's mint. Still grass. They laughed. It was genuine. Loud. Celine looked taken aback by the sound of her own laughter. I don't remember the last time I laughed like that. Then you need to come here more often. What? To your showbox palace? Exactly. What should I bring next time? Maya leaned back. Yourself? But maybe in Henris. You're very demanding. You're very worth it. Celine's eyes lingered. And Maya didn't look away. What Maya asked. I think I'm terrified of you. Why? Because I don't know how to be like this. Normal. Wanted. Sing. Maya reached across the table and took her hand. Then let me teach you. Celine's fingers closed around hers, like she was holding on for the first time. You don't want my world. Maybe not. It's cold, sharp, lonely. Then come into mine. It's messy, loud, broke. But there's room for you. Celine stood slowly. Maya rose too. Their faces were inches apart. Do I scare you? Celine whispered. Not even a little. Maya said, and kissed her. It wasn't soft. It wasn't sweet. Hey, if you're enjoying this story, go ahead and drop a like to help us grow even more. And let me know in the comments. On a scale from 0 to 10, what score would you give this story so far? Your feedback makes all the difference. It was honest, hungry, real. Celine pressed forward, lips parting, hands trembling. Maya pulled her closer, breathing her in. They only broke apart when they had to. Celine's voice was unsteady. Can I stay? You mean tonight? No. In your world. Maya brushed her thumb across Celine's jaw. You already are. Celine didn't leave that night. She stayed on Maya's mattress in Maya's arms beneath a cracked ceiling and a window that whistled. Every time the wind moved east, she slept like she hadn't in years. No silk sheets, no climate control, no artificial silence, just the sound of Maya breathing, steady and warm, and the occasional car horn slicing through the city outside. When she woke up, Maya was already in the kitchen making coffee with a chipped mug and humming softly to herself. Celine lay there watching her from across the room, hair messy, eyes heavy, wearing nothing but one of Maya's oversized t-shirts that smelled like cheap detergent and vanilla. It was the most intimate thing she'd ever worn. You're staring, Maya said without turning around. You're beautiful, Celine replied, voice still husky from sleep. Maya glanced over her shoulder. You always say exactly what you think. Only when I can't help it. Maya brought over to Muggs, sat cross-legged at the foot of the bed last night. Was that normal for you? Celine shook her head. Nothing about you is normal for me. Good. Maya sipped her coffee. I was worried you might turn into a pumpkin at sunrise. I'm more of a dragon. You breathe fire. I hoard treasure and sleep alone. Not anymore. Celine looked at her. That's what scares me. Why? Because I don't know how to need someone without destroying them. You haven't destroyed me yet. Maya leaned in. Then don't pull away before you even try. But something did shift that day. Not in the way Celine touched her. Still reverent, curious, quiet. But in the way she began to check her phone again. Glanced at it more than once. Answered a call she didn't explain. Maya didn't press. She knew what kind of people had Celine's number and what it cost to ignore them. Still, the tension grew, not anger. Just a subtle threat of distance like a storm forming far offshore. By the third day, Celine sat on the edge of the bed, her blouse back on, her watch ticking loud in the silence. I have to go, she said. Not forever. Just a meeting. A $1 billion meeting? Maya teased. Celine didn't smile. Something like that. You're coming back. Do you want me to? Maya stood and crossed the room slowly. Yes. Celine looked at her for a long time. Then I will. She kissed Maya. But it wasn't like the other times. It tasted like hesitation. When the door closed behind her, Maya felt it deep in her chest. The absence and a strange ache that had nothing to do with missing and everything to do with fearing. The next day passed without a word. Then the next Maya refused to text first. It wasn't pride. It was protection. She'd played that game before, falling too fast, too hard, only to be reminded she wasn't enough. Especially not for someone like Celine. On the third day, a package arrived. No note, just a box wrapped in dark ribbon. Inside, a dress. Midnight blue, delicate. Her size. How the hell did Celine know her size? Maya stared at it like it might bite. Then her phone lit up. Wear it tonight. 7:00 p.m. driver will wait 10 minutes. If you don't come, I'll understand, but I'll be disappointed. And I don't think you want to see me disappointed. Maya snorted, then stood, then stared at the dress again. At 6:59, she stepped into the car. The drive was long, past the city, into the hills, through a gate that didn't look like it belonged to any place a normal person could find on a map. The car stopped in front of a mansion that looked like it had been stolen from European novel. Maya stepped out slowly. She hated being impressed, but this was something else. The doors opened before she could knock. Staff she'd never met bowed slightly and led her to a private dining room, where Celine stood already waiting, hair swept back, suit tailored like it was made of shadow. You came, she said, voice softer than Maya expected. You left me waiting 3 days, Maya said flatly. I needed to remember how to come back. Did you? I'm here? Maya walked past her, sat at the table. This feels like a test. It's not. Feels like a performance. It's not that either. Then what is it? Celine sat opposite her. It's me trying in the only way I know how. Maya looked at the camelot table. The silent staff. The absurd opulence. This isn't my world. I know. Then why bring me into it? Because it's not my world anymore either. I've lived in places like this for so long. I forgot how to breathe. But you remind me. Maya's voice broke. Of what? That I'm allowed to be someone real. Maya stood, walked around the table, pulled Celine up by the collar of her suit. Then show me. Don't buy me. Don't dress me. Just show me. Celine's breath caught. She reached up, brushing Maya's cheek. I'm scared. Me, too. They kissed again, not because of hunger, but because it was the only way to close the space between too many truths. The dress slipped to the floor. The lies did too. And for the first time in her life, Celine Ashford let someone see her exactly as she was and didn't look away. The morning after was too quiet. Maya lay in a bed she didn't belong to, inside walls that felt like a museum, wrapped in sheets that cost more than her rent, and all she could think about was how far she was from home. Celine was gone when she woke. Not gone as in left, gone as in invisible. Maya walked barefoot down the endless hallway, the dress from the night before folded over her arm, wearing one of Celine's button-down shirts that reached her thighs. She felt like a girl in someone else's movie. She found Henry, the house steward, standing in the kitchen with surgical precision. She's on the phone, he said without being asked. Business. She'll be down shortly. May I get you anything? Yeah. Something that doesn't scream. Reese brunch. He cracked a rare smile. Toast. Perfect. Celine didn't appear for 40 minutes. When she did, she looked different. Dressed for war. Her expression tight, her voice clipped, phone still in her hand. I said, no, and that's final. I don't care who he talked to. If he leaks it, I'll burn the contract. Maya didn't move. Celine turned and saw her. Her entire body stilled. I'll call you back. She hung up. Silence. Maya didn't say anything. She didn't need to. Celine exhaled. That's not who I wanted to be this morning. But it is who you are. Sometimes. What's going on? Someone inside the company is trying to exploit my absence. Exploit how? By pushing through a merger I already said no to. They think I'm distracted. Are you? Yes. Celine stepped forward, but not careless. You haven't answered my text since last night. I don't say you were busy. Just say you forgot. Celine's jaw tensed. I didn't forget. I didn't know what to say. Why? Because it felt too real. Because it was. Maya looked away. You don't have to make space for me in this world, Celine. But don't pretend like you can keep one foot in and one foot out. I'm not pretending. Then what are you doing? Trying not to ruin this by disappearing. Celine closed the distance between them by keeping you safe from it. I don't want safe. I want real. Real hurts. I'm not asking for a fantasy. I'm asking for consistency. You're asking me to be someone I'm still learning how to be. Then say that. Say it out loud instead of going silent. Celine's hands trembled. I don't know how to be loved without paying for it. That made Maya stop. Her anger cracked. What do you mean? Everyone in my life has taken something. Attention, favor, power, money. I don't remember the last time I gave someone something they didn't turn into a transaction. You think I'm here for payout? No. Then why are you scared? Because you see me and I don't know how to carry that without folding under it. Maya touched her face gentle now. Then let me carry some of it with you. Celine closed her eyes. You deserve better. Maybe. But I want you. For a moment, Celine softened. The ice cracked. But then her phone buzzed again. A name Maya didn't see. Celine stiffened. I have to take this. Maya stepped back. Of course you do. Celine answered the call, turning away. Maya stood there, feeling the chill return, and quietly left the room. She didn't leave the house. Not yet. She wandered instead through rooms that smelled like silence and success. Through corridors lined with oil paintings and awards, she found a door that wasn't locked. Inside a study, clean, untouched, but on the desk was a photo frame turned down. Maya lifted it. To women, younger Celine, smiling, arms around someone else. A woman with sharp eyes and a scar at her temple. There was love there. Familiarity, pain, footsteps behind her. Celine stood in the doorway, her face unreadable. That's Arden, your ex. My sister. Maya blinked. Oh, she died 5 years ago. That was the last time I lived in this house. And now I don't know what it is. And what was she to you? Celine stepped in. Everything. And the last person I trusted. Maya put the frame down. What happened to her? Accident. Car. My fault. You were driving. No. But I was the reason she was on the road that night. She was trying to clean up a mess I made. What kind of mess? The kind that destroys families. Maya didn't push. She just crossed the room, took Celine's hand. You don't have to bleed to prove you loved her. I spent 5 years proving I could live without love. And now I don't want to. They stood in that room full of ghosts. And Maya kissed her soft this time. No heat, just presence and a kind of forgiveness neither of them knew how to name. When they broke apart, Celine whispered, "If you stay, you'll get hurt." Maya replied, "If I leave, I'll never feel this again." The first time Maya walked into a boardroom, she didn't say a word. She was only there to wait. Celine had insisted, "You'll be bored. It's technical." But Maya had replied, "If I'm part of your life, I get to see the boring parts, too." So, she sat in the corner of a glass-walled room 37 stories above a city that didn't know her name. Wearing borrowed heels and a blazer Celine had left draped over the back of a chair. She looked out of place, and she knew it. But she didn't look small. Celine entered minutes later, cold, composed, lethal in black. The room fell silent when she did, like the gravity shifted. Maya had seen her naked, had kissed her in the dark, in the quiet, in the firelight of vulnerability. But this was a different kind of naked power. Pure and sharp and silent. She watched as Celine dismantled a man twice her age with 3 sentences, and a look that could have frozen steel. Maya didn't know what they were talking about. Numbers, percentages, projections. But she knew when someone won. And Celine won. When the meeting ended, Celine walked over like nothing had happened. Was it painful? Maya shook her head. No. I liked seeing them squirm. Celine smiled. Told you it was boring. Terrifying? More like, you're not terrified of me. Only when you're this hot in public. Celine leaned in. Behave. Make me. They left together, and that's when the whisper started. In the elevator, a man in a gray suited Maya like she was a puzzle with one piece missing. A woman behind the reception desk smirked. No one said anything, but the glances were sharp enough to draw blood. That night, Maya asked, "Do they all know what about us?" "They know you were there." "And what does that mean to them?" Celine hesitated. "It means I'm not untouchable anymore." "Is that a bad thing to some people?" "Yes, to you." Celine looked at her. "No." But the shift was real. Subtle, but present. Celine's phone rang more often. Her assistant asked more questions. Her calendar filled up. And through it all, Maya remained present, calm, unmoved by the noise. But she noticed. She noticed when Celine began locking her phone again. She noticed when her hand twitched during dinner, like she wanted to check it. She noticed when the driver, Luke, started using a colder tone. "How long have you worked for her?" Maya asked him one night. "Long enough to know when something's changing." "And is it?" "It already has. You don't like me. I don't need to. But I care about her." Maya didn't answer because she did too. and she knew exactly what it felt like to watch someone burn and not be able to stop them. The fire came days later. Not literal, but close. Celine had invited Maya to a small dinner with colleagues. Quiet, private, intimate. But someone leaked the guest list. A blog posted photos. A rumor sparked Celine Ashford dating a waitress. The word waitress was repeated in every post. Not artist, not Maya. Just that like it was a punchline. Celine read it in silence. Maya stood in the doorway, arms crossed, waiting. Are you embarrassed? Maya asked. No. Are you mad? Yes. At me? Never. At them? Always. Maya walked over. So what now? Now they'll come for you. I'm not afraid of rich people with Wi-Fi. You should be. They don't like when things aren't polished. Then let them hate me. They'll twist you. And what will you do? Celine looked up. Her voice cracked. Fight for you, for this, even if it burns everything else. Maya knelt in front of her. Don't burn alone. Then stay beside me. Always. Celine kissed her. And this time, there was no fear in it. Just fire, just choice. Just two women who had nothing in common except the undeniable fact that they couldn't let go. Even if it cost them everything. Maya didn't expect to become a headline. She certainly didn't expect to become a symbol of class disparity, of scandal, of what happens when billionaires fall for bartenders. She hated every word of it. Hated the way her name was never mentioned, only her job. Hated the way her smile was analyzed. Hated the way Celine's silence was turned into speculation. The first week was bad. The second was worse. Not because of what was said, but because of what it started to do to them. Celine tried to shield her, kept Maya out of public events, refused to attend any gathering where questions might be asked. But isolation, even with good intentions, still felt like a cage. You're hiding me, Maya said one night, pacing across the penthouse with bare feet and fury in her eyes. Celine sat on the edge of the couch, hands clasped. I'm protecting you. You don't protect me by locking me away. I'm trying to give you peace. Then trust me to find my own. Celine looked up. I've worked my entire life to build something they couldn't touch. And now they're using you to get to me. Then let them try. You don't understand how cruel they can be. Maybe I do, but I also know this. I'm not ashamed of being seen with you. You shouldn't be ashamed of being seen with me. Celine stood across the room. I'm not. Then prove it. How? Let me in. Stop filtering me out of your world like I'm a mistake. You're trying to manage. The silence that followed was sharp. Then Celine took a slow breath. There's a gala next week for one of my foundations. Everyone will be there. And come with me. As what? As mine? Maya stared at her. You sure? No, me neither. But I want you there. Maya nodded once. Then I'll be there. The night of the gala, Maya wore black, simple, elegant, nothing borrowed, her hair up, her eyes fierce. Celine couldn't stop looking at her, even in the car. Even as they neared a building full of wolves, nerves creeping in, Celine asked, You terrified? Good. Let's scare them together. They walked in side by side. Flashes, eyes, gasps. Maya kept her head high, her arm linked with Celine's, as if she'd done it 1,000 times before. Inside, the crowd parted not from fear, but from curiosity. Who was she? What was she? Why did Celine Ashford look at her like that? Like a woman who had spent her whole life in a locked room and had just found the key. Introductions were awkward. Smiles were strained. But Maya never shrank. She didn't try to impress anyone. She asked questions. She laughed when something was actually funny. She refused champagne, opting for water, just to see if anyone would blink. They did. Celine didn't. She watched Maya like she was the only person in the room worth knowing. And maybe she was. Halfway through the evening, Celine leaned close. I'm proud of you. Maya whispered back. Don't be. I'm just being myself. Exactly. But of course, Nothing real stays perfect. It couldn't. On their way out, a man Celine once trusted stepped into their path. Crisp suit, thin smile, snake eyes. "Miss Ashford," he said, "I see you've brought your new interest." Celine didn't flinch. "Maya, this is Victor Darrow. He used to run one of our subsidiaries before he tried to siphon from the pension fund." "Charming," Maya said. "Your taste is evolving," Victor replied. "First tech empires, now charity cases." Celine's voice went cold. "Get out of my way. Don't forget who you were before you wrapped yourself around a waitress." Maya smiled sweetly. "Don't forget who you are when the courts finish with you," Victor faltered. Celine smiled. "She bites. Only when provoked," Maya said. They left to the sound of murmurs, but neither looked back. In the car, Maya sat in silence for a long while before speaking. "Thank you for what? Letting them see me? They don't deserve to." "Maybe not, but you do." Celine took her hand. "Next time, we leave when you say next time," Maya replied. "We bring tequila." Celine laughed. And for the first time in weeks, it wasn't bitter. The photos from the gala were everywhere by morning. Celine and Maya stepping out of a car, standing side by side, laughing in a corner under golden light. There were think pieces and speculation threads, professional analysis of body language, guesses about Maya's true motives, as if falling in love had to be a calculated move. Maya read none of it. She sat at Celine's kitchen counter with coffee in a chipped mug, wearing one of Celine's shirts, barefoot, legs tucked under her like she owned the place. Celine stood by the stove in sweatpants and no makeup, scrolling through her phone with a slight frown. "Bad?" Maya asked. "Predictable. They think I'm a gold digger, don't they? They think I'm having a breakdown." Maya sipped her coffee. "Are you?" "If I am, it's the most delicious one I've ever had." Celine put her phone down, walked around the counter, took Maya's face in her hands, and kissed her like the world hadn't just tried to ruin her. "You don't regret any of this?" Maya asked. Not for a second, but the pressure mounted, slowly, insidiously. First in the form of emails, then meeting Celine couldn't avoid, then shareholders requesting her presence for optics. Maya started noticing the shift, not in how Celine looked at her, but in how often she wasn't there to look at all. Celine began working longer hours, coming home later, texting less. Maya didn't complain, but she waited. Every night in a city that didn't sleep, she waited for a woman who was starting to disappear into her old world again. One night at 1:47 a.m., Celine came home pale and shaking. Maya rushed to her. "What happened?" "Someone leaked internal financial reports, tried to frame me for mismanagement." "Are you serious?" "I have enemies, Maya, real ones. And now they're not just coming for me. They're coming for anyone close to me." "You think this has to do with me?" "Of course it does. So what? Now I'm a liability." "No. You're a weapon they can't control, and that scares them." "Then let them be scared." "Maya, you're not pushing me out." "I don't want to." "Then don't. But I have to protect what I've built." Maya stepped closer. "And what about what we are building?" Celine's voice cracked. "I don't know how to do both." Maya touched her cheek. "Yes, you do. You just don't want to lose either." "That's not weakness, Celine. That's love." Celine collapsed into her, arms tight, head on Maya's shoulder. "I'm tired. Then rest. I've got you." But even with Maya there, even with her presence like oxygen, the threats kept coming. Anonymous calls. Strange cars parked near the apartment. A message slipped under the door of Maya's old place that read, "Know your place." Celine wanted to pull her out of the city. Maya refused. "If we run, they win," she said. "I'm not a secret, and I'm not scared. You should be. Maybe, but I'm still here." The turning point came with a package. No name, no return address. Inside, a flash drive. Celine plugged it in, hands shaking. Maya sat beside her. The screen lit up. Documents, edited emails, fabricated transfers, all designed to look like Celine had been paying Maya to stay with her. "They're trying to destroy your credibility," Maya whispered. "They want to erase the truth and rewrite us as a lie." Celine stared at the screen. Her voice came out quiet. "This is what power does. It makes love look suspicious." Maya's throat tightened. "So what do? We fight together." Celine looked at her always. "They deleted nothing. They saved everything." Celine called her lawyers. Maya stood by her side, jaw tight. "You really want a war?" one of the men asked. "No," Celine said, "but I won't apologize for falling in love with someone who doesn't fit your mold. You understand the cost?" "I finally do." That night in bed, Maya lay curled into Celine's side. "We could lose everything," she whispered. Celine kissed her forehead. "Let them take it, as long as I don't lose you." They tried to scare her. That was their first mistake. The second was underestimating who she had beside her. Maya didn't flinch when they sent the second package. She didn't cry when she found her name printed on a fake invoice, claiming she'd been paid monthly for companionship services. She didn't scream when her old manager from the diner called to say to men in suits had come by asking for statements about her relationship history. She just stood at the window of Celine's penthouse, arms crossed, watching the city blink like a giant warning sign, and waited. Celine came home hours later. She didn't speak at first, just walked straight to Maya, pulled her close, and buried her face in her neck. "What did they do this time?" "Tried to erase me." "Did it work?" Maya pulled back and looked her in the eyes. "I'm still here." Celine nodded, her eyes red but dry. "So am I." They stopped reacting with panic, started reacting with precision. Maya began keeping records, photos, screenshots, times, names. Celine brought in a private team, but not to hide, to expose. "If they want a war," she said, "then let them watch me burn the whole system down." The only time Maya faltered was when her mother called, a voice she hadn't heard in months. "You're on the news," her mother said, cold and sharp. "You look like someone you're not." Maya closed her eyes. "I am someone you don't know anymore. You're embarrassing yourself." "No, Mom. I'm loving someone. There's a difference." She hung up, sat on the floor for 10 minutes, silent. Celine found her like that. Sat beside her, took her hand, said nothing, just held on. Days blurred, tension mounted, but beneath it, something else bloomed. Resilience, intimacy, trust, the kind that's only forged under pressure. They started cooking dinner together, even if it was just pasta. Maya taught Celine how to burn toast just enough to make it taste like her childhood. Celine showed Maya how to open wine with her teeth when the corkscrew broke. They danced barefoot in the kitchen, music low, laughter louder. "What if this never stops?" Maya asked one night. "The threats, the lies, the fight." Celine cubed her face. "Then we never stop either." Maya leaned in. "Kiss me like we're the last honest thing left in the city." Celine did, and it felt like truth. The only moment they truly lost control was the night the building lost power. Not an accident, a message. Celine's team confirmed the security breach came from someone inside. Maya sat on the couch in the dark, one candle flickering on the table, eyes locked on the front door. Celine paced. "They're getting bolder then. They're getting desperate. I hate this. You hate being hunted. I hate you being caught in the middle." Maya stood, walked to her, placed her hands on Celine's chest. "There's no middle, Celine. There's just us. Either we fight together or we fall apart." Celine took her wrist gently. "I'm not letting you fall." "Then stop carrying me like I'm breakable." "You're not." "Then let's finish this." The next morning, Celine called a press conference. Not through her PR team, through her own voice. She invited only one journalist. No questions, just a statement. She stood in front of a camera and said the words no one expected. "Yes, I am in a relationship with Maya Cruz. Yes, she's not from my world. No, she's not paid to be here. She's here because I love her. And if you can't understand that, then you never really understood who I am. Maya watched the broadcast from the kitchen, hands shaking. Celine walked in an hour later. No guards, no phone, just her. You meant every word? Maya asked. Every syllable. You just told the world you love me. I was just saying it out loud for the first time. Maya stared. That was the first time. Celine stepped forward. No one's ever heard it from me. Then say it again. Celine smiled. I love you. Maya closed the distance, mouth trembling. I love you, too. They kissed like the war was over, even though they both knew it was just beginning. The backlash was immediate. Polite on the surface, ruthless underneath. Board members requested emergency meetings. Investors froze assets. Media outlets spun Celine's statement into instability. A woman in love, they said, was a woman distracted, and a distracted billionaire was a threat to the economy. Maya watched it all unfold from the edge. Not helpless, not surprised, but furious. They act like you committed a crime, she said. Celine sat at the kitchen island, scrolling through emails like each one was another blade aimed at her throat. They act like I'm no longer useful to them. Love makes you unpredictable and profitable and human, Maya added. Which they never wanted you to be. Celine didn't answer, just kept reading. Maya crossed the room, took the phone out of her hands, and placed it face down on the counter. Look at me. Celine did slowly, tired, but still hers. You don't owe them anything, Maya said, but I owe them my silence. No, you owe yourself peace. You gave them years. You bled for their approval. Now they want your soul. They want me without weakness. Then they can't have you at all. Celine stood. The kitchen was too quiet. The world outside too loud. They're calling for a vote. A vote to remove me as chair. Maya's heart dropped. They can do that if the shareholders agree. Yes. And will they? If they think I'm compromising the company. Yes. Because you fell in love. Because I stopped being afraid of being seen. Maya stepped forward, placed her palms on Celine's cheeks. Do you regret it? Not for a second. Then you already won. Celine leaned into her forehead to forehead. Will you still love me if I lose everything? Maya whispered. I didn't fall in love with what you have. I fell in love with you. And that's the one thing they can't take. But the days ahead were brutal. Lawyers, articles, anonymous sources, and silence where there used to be loyalty. Maya watched people Celine had supported for years turn their backs. Watched them twist kindness into strategy. Watched them weaponize her presence like it was a scandal instead of salvation. Celine didn't break, but Maya saw her bend. Just once, late one night, Maya found her sitting alone on the balcony, eyes lost in the skyline. Untouched whiskey in her hand. They were supposed to be my people, she said. I built this with them. No, Maya replied. You built it despite them. I wanted to prove I could matter. You already do, not in the way they measure. Maya sat beside her, took the glass, set it aside, then changed the measure. Celine looked at her. I don't want to lead something I have to shrink for. Then don't burn it down and start something better. With what? With us. The next morning, Celine made a decision. She called a private meeting with the board. No lawyers, no press. Maya didn't ask what she said in that room. But when she came home, she was smiling. I resigned. Maya blinked. You what? I gave them what they wanted. Power, control, the illusion of order. But I kept the real victory. What victory? I'm free. Celine, your company was never mine. Not really. It was theirs the moment I let their voices be louder than my own. And what happens now? Celine walked over, took Maya's hand. Now I build something that's actually mine, with people I trust, with someone I love. You're serious? Completely. You walked away from billions. I walked towards something better. Maya couldn't speak. She couldn't breathe. She could only wrap her arms around her, And hold on, because this woman, this impossible, brilliant, terrifying woman, had just chosen love over legacy. So Celine whispered, "Still love me now that I'm just a regular millionaire?" Maya laughed, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I'd love you if you were broke in a cardboard box. Careful. I might test that someday. As long as it's a box for two." They kissed like it was the first time again, like the world had ended and begun again in the same breath. And for the first time since it all began, there was no power imbalance, no transaction. Just two women, equal, ready to rise. It started with silence. The kind of silence that comes after a storm. Not because everything is calm, but because everything is gone. Celine's calendar, once a battlefield of ours, was empty. Her email, once an avalanche, was quiet. Her name, once a brand, became a whisper. Maya watched it all happen from the eye of the storm, sitting across from her at breakfast, watching Celine stir her coffee like it might answer a question neither of them could ask out loud. "How does it feel?" Maya finally said. "Like I jumped off a building. And I'm still falling. But you're not alone. That's the only reason I'm not screaming." They moved out of the penthouse 2 weeks later. Not out of necessity. Celine still had more money than she could ever spend. But she didn't want the echoes of a life she'd outgrown. They found a smaller place, a house with wood floors that creaked, windows that stuck, and a garden Maya fell in love with at first glance. "It's perfect," she said. "It's crooked," Celine replied. "So are we." They spent days painting walls, unpacking boxes, burning old clothes, and shredding old letters. They made space not just for furniture, but for breath, for truth, for mornings that started with bare feet and laughter. But not everything stayed quiet. Celine's name still lingered in headlines, sometimes framed with nostalgia, sometimes with venom. Maya's name, once a footnote, began to be spoken with curiosity. The woman who made the billionaire walk away. Maya ignored it most days, but sometimes late at night, she'd sit on the porch and wonder what it meant to be the cause of someone else's revolution. "You didn't make me leave," Celine said one evening, appearing beside her with 2 mugs of mint tea. "I chose to, I know, but you saved me from the version of myself that was killing me slowly. So, what do we do now? We live." Celine leaned back, watching the stars appear. "We stop surviving and start living." That living looked different than either of them expected. Celine began consulting quietly, selectively for women-led startups. No boardrooms, no suits, no power games, just experience passed down like a torch. Maya started painting again, not for galleries, for herself, for Celine. For the walls of the new house that needed more than furniture. They needed color. One night, Celine came home late from a meeting. Maya had paint on her hands, hair in a bun, barefoot in the studio. A canvas leaned against the wall. Half finished, chaotic, breathtaking. Celine walked in, stopped mid-step. "That's new. It's us. Where are we?" Maya pointed at 2 abstract forms swirling toward each other in a sea of gray and gold. "Here." Celine stepped closer. "I look like fire. You are. And you?" "I'm the thing that doesn't burn." Celine kissed her slow deep. "You're the reason I started over." But even in this quieter life, challenges crept in. Not from enemies this time, but from within. One morning, Maya found Celine sitting on the porch alone, staring at her phone. "What's wrong?" "My father called. I didn't know you still spoke." "We don't." "What did he want?" "He heard I walked away. Said I was weak. Said I embarrassed the family name." "What did you say?" "That I finally understood what strength actually looks like." Maya sat beside her. "You okay?" "I don't know." "Do you want to be?" "I want to keep building something real." "Then we will." And they did together. Maya built a local art program for underserved youth. Celine funded it quietly, attending the openings anonymously, staying in the background, watching the woman she loved create a space for beauty to grow. You don't have to hide, Maya said once. I'm not hiding. I'm witnessing. They made love in every room of the crooked house, on the floor, in the shower, against the freshly painted walls. Not out of desperation, but out of joy, out of certainty. One night, Maya whispered, "What happens when the world comes knocking again?" Celine held her closer. "Then we let it knock. But we don't have to open the door. And if it kicks it in, then we build stronger walls together." Maya smiled. "You really don't miss it. The empire, the chaos." Celine looked at her. "No empire gave me this." Maya kissed her shoulder. "Then let's never give it up. Not for the world." And in the dark, in that house filled with second chances and open windows, neither of them felt like they were falling anymore. They were flying. Maya first noticed it in the quiet. The way Celine stared a little longer out the window. The way she touched her phone but didn't unlock it. The way she smiled like something was unraveling behind her eyes. It wasn't the chaos anymore. It was the absence of it. The stillness. The softness of a life she never thought she'd earn. Maya brought it up one night, lying side by side in bed, legs tangled, hearts too close to pretend. "You're restless," she said. Celine didn't deny it. "I don't know who I am when I'm not fighting something." "You're allowed to be still. But what if I don't know how?" "Then you learn like you learn how to love me." Celine turned her head. "I'm still learning that, too. So am I." They didn't speak for a long time. The silence between them wasn't heavy. It was searching. Then Celine whispered, "Do you ever think this is too good to last?" "All the time, and I choose it anyway. But fear is like water. It finds the smallest cracks." A week later, Maya got a call from a gallery in Barcelona. A solo exhibition, fully funded, 6 weeks abroad. A dream she'd buried when her world became too small to hold it. She told Celine that night over dinner. The pasta was warm. The wine was soft. The tension was immediate. "That's incredible," Celine said, but her voice didn't reach her eyes. "It is," Maya replied, trying not to shrink. "When would you leave?" "In 3 weeks, and you be gone for a month and a half." Silence. Maya placed her fork down. "Say what you're thinking." Celine looked at her. "I'm proud of you, but I don't want you to go, and I don't want to stay for the wrong reasons." "So, this is the wrong reason." "No. But staying just because you're scared of being alone. That would be." "I'm not scared of being alone." "Then what are you scared of?" Celine walked to the window. Her voice dropped. "That you'll realize you don't need me." Maya followed her. "I already know that." Celine turned startled. "What?" "I don't need you, Celine. I want you." "There's a difference." Celine's throat tightened. "Everyone I've ever loved needed something from me. Money, access, protection. I was never the one they wanted, just the one they used." Maya reached for her hand. "I'm not them." "But what if you go and you find a version of your life that makes this feel small? Then I'll come home and make this bigger." "You'd come back." "Celine, there's no world where I don't come back to you. Even if everything changes, especially then." Celine nodded slowly. "Then I'll help you pack." The next 3 weeks passed like sand through open fingers. Fast, beautiful, impossible to hold. Maya painted non-stop. Celine cooked badly, but tried anyway. They made love like memory, like anchor, like promise. And when the day came, Maya stood at the airport with tears she didn't hide. "You sure you'll be okay?" she asked. "I've survived worse. But now you don't have to survive. You just have to wait." Celine kissed her like an oath. "Come back to me." Maya smiled. "You better be right where I left you." And then she was gone. Celine stood in the terminal long after the flight disappeared. The days that followed felt strange. Not lonely, just quiet. The crooked house echoed more. The bed felt wider. The coffee colder. But she didn't fall apart. Instead, she started writing letters. One each day. Not to be sent, just to be felt. Day 1. I missed her laugh before I even closed the front door. Day 4. I planted something in the garden today. I think it's ugly, but you'll probably love it. Day 10. I keep opening my phone to text you things that don't matter. I still want to say them anyway. Day 19. I'm scared you'll come back and find me smaller, duller. Not enough. Day 28. I think I finally believe you love me. And I think that's what's scaring me now. The garden grew. The gallery in Barcelona opened. Maya's face appeared in international magazines, not as a billionaire's lover, but as an artist in her own right. The night before she was set to return, Celine sat on the porch with the final letter in her lap, the house behind her glowing with light, and whispered to herself, "Come home." And somewhere over the Atlantic, Maya, watching the clouds beneath her, smiled without knowing why. The plane touched down just after midnight. Maya didn't sleep a second on the flight. Her sketchbook was full. Lines, shapes, moments she couldn't name, but all of them felt like Celine. The Barcelona gallery had been a dream. Applause, contracts, opportunity. But all Maya could think about was the house with creaky floors and windows that stuck, and the woman waiting behind them. The Uber driver took the long route. Maya didn't complain. Her heartbeat was too loud anyway. When the car finally stopped at the top of the gravel drive, she froze. The porch light was on. The curtains glowed soft gold. Her home. She stepped out, suitcase in one hand, nerves in the other. The door opened before she knocked, and there she was, Celine, barefoot, no makeup, hair down, eyes soft like open sky. Maya didn't speak. She didn't have to. Celine crossed the threshold like gravity didn't exist and wrapped her in a hug. That didn't ask questions. Maya buried her face in her neck. "You're here," Celine whispered. "You waited always. I missed your coffee. I missed your bad cooking." They laughed, but the tears were real. Maya stepped inside. Nothing had changed, and yet everything had. "This feels smaller," she said. "It's not the house," Celine replied. "It's you. You've grown." Maya turned. "Do you mean that?" "Yes. And I'm terrified you'll outgrow me." Maya stepped closer. "Celine. Don't run from this moment." "I'm not." "Then kiss me like I'm home." Celine did. The kind of kiss that steals breath and gives it back in a better form. They stumbled into the living room, shedding jackets, bags, words. When Celine pressed Maya against the wall, their mouths colliding, it didn't feel like a reunion. It felt like survival. "Say it again," Maya whispered between kisses. "Say you love me." "I love you." Celine breathed. "I love you. I love you. I love you." And when they finally collapsed on the couch, tangled and gasping, there was nothing left between them but the truth. Later, Maya curled into her side, fingers tracing patterns across Celine's stomach. "You kept the garden alive. It missed you. Did you?" "Every second." "Did you write?" Celine hesitated. "Yes, every day." "Can I read them?" "Eventually." "That bad? That personal?" Maya kissed her shoulder. "I want all your pages." "You already have them." The next morning, Maya walked barefoot into the garden, sunlight painting her skin. She turned to call for Celine, then stopped. The look on Celine's face was unreadable. Pale still. "What is it?" Maya asked. Celine held up a letter. Not one of hers. A real one. Official. "This came while you were gone." Maya stepped forward. "Read it." Then blinked. "This is from a law firm," Celine finished. "They want to meet." "Why?" "Because my mother, who I haven't spoken to in years, died 2 months ago." "Celine. And apparently she left me everything." Maya reached for her hand. "What does that mean?" "It means I'm rich again." "But I thought you still had money." "I did. But I left the empire. Now they want to drag me back in with another." "What are you going to do?" "I don't know." "Do you want it?" "Not if it means becoming who I was again." Maya looked at her. "Then don't. Not unless you can take me with you." "I won't go anywhere you don't fit." But the letter stayed on the table all day. A symbol, a choice. That night, Maya lay awake watching the ceiling fans spin shadows. What if the world doesn't let us be small? She asked. Then we make a bigger world, Celine replied. And if it pulls you back, then I hold on tighter. Maya rolled over. Promise me one thing. Anything. Whatever we decide together. Always. Outside, the garden bloomed. Inside, the future knocked gently on their door, waiting to be invited in. Celine didn't open the envelope again for 3 days. It sat on the edge of the table like a threat made of paper. Maya didn't push. She moved around it like someone avoiding a bruise that hadn't healed. They cooked. They kissed. They watered the garden. But the silence grew louder with each passing hour. On the 4th night, Celine finally spoke. When I was 15, my mother told me, "Love makes you weak." Maya didn't respond, just waited. She said, "A woman like me would never be loved for who I am, only for what I could give." Maya folded the towel in her lap. She was wrong. She wasn't. Not then. Not until you, Celine. She never gave me anything but shame. But now she gives me an empire I don't want. And somehow it's still haunting me. Maya reached for her hand. You don't have to accept it. But if I don't, someone else will. Someone worse. Someone who will use it to hurt people. So, you take on that weight just to stop someone else from carrying it badly. Isn't that what power is? No, Maya said gently. Power is what you do when no one's looking. What would you do? Maya didn't answer right away. Then I'd ask myself who I am when I'm not afraid. That night, Celine stayed up until the sky turned lavender. Maya woke to find her in the garden, barefoot in the dirt. The envelope finally torn open beside her. I read everything, she said, and it's more than I thought. Not just money, properties, holdings, access to boards I'd never touch by choice. So what now? I called a lawyer, told them I'd accept one condition. Maya tilted her head, which is that I break it apart piece by piece, rebuild it from the inside out, turn it into something clean. Can you do that? They said, no one's ever tried. Maya smiled. Then it's about time someone did. Celine reached for her. But I won't do it unless you say yes. Yes to what? To standing beside me while I walk back into hell. But this time with a map. I don't want your money. Celine, I know, and I won't let it swallow you. That's why I need you. Maya took a long breath. Then let's do it. But on our terms. Always. The next few weeks were chaos again. But this time they were in control. Celine attended meetings not to impress, but to dismantle. She sold properties that didn't serve anyone. Invested in education, healthcare, artists. She refused old partners, declined board seats, started a foundation in her mother's name, but rewrote the mission entirely for women who were told they were too much, too emotional, too loud, too difficult, too complicated to be loved. Maya watched it all with a mix of pride and fear. You're changing the rules, she said. No, Celine replied. I'm throwing the rule book out. The media came back, of course. Headlines like Reformed Aries and Ashford's new empire of empathy made the rounds. But Maya was never the background this time. She stood beside Celine at every press event, every speech, every fundraiser, and every time someone tried to question her place. Celine answered simply, she's the reason this all exists. One night, after a long day of back-to-back interviews, Maya stood barefoot in their kitchen, wine glass in hand, watching Celine read through contracts with a highlighter in her teeth. You're back in the world, she said. Yes. Does it feel different now? Only because you're here. Are you happy? Celine set the papers down, walked over, took Maya's face in her hands. I'm in love. I'm at peace. I'm still on fire. That's more than happiness. That's freedom. Maya blinked back tears. Then don't ever let go of it. I won't. Promise me. Maya whispered, that no matter how big this gets again, I'll never feel small in it. Celine kissed her softly. You're not beside me, Maya. You're the center of this. Outside, the garden had grown wild. Inside, two women stood in the middle of a house that had seen them broken and rebuilt. And for the first time since it all began, there was no past pulling them back, only the future waiting to be claimed. They called it a miracle. The way the new foundation tripled its reach in under 6 months. The way women in cities Maya had never been to whispered Celine's name like a promise, instead of a warning. The way grants arrived where before there had only been gates. The way people spoke about love, not as weakness, but as revolution. But to Celine and Maya, none of that felt like a miracle. It felt like hard work, like scraped knees and sleepless nights, and hands held tightly in silence. It felt like making the impossible look effortless. They were stronger now, not because the world got easier, but because they stopped asking it to. Maya still painted. Her work had taken a new shape. Bolder, freer, louder. She never asked for exhibitions. They found her. She never painted what people wanted, only what she felt. And it was enough. Celine, on the other hand, became the kind of leader she had once feared. Soft-spoken, bold-hearted, unapologetically human. She stopped speaking in polished sound bites. She started telling the truth. I'm not perfect, she said in one interview, but love made me brave enough to try again. The crooked house became more than home. It became legend, a place people wrote about, romanticized, speculated on. No one knew what went on inside, and neither woman felt the need to explain. Some nights they still slept tangled on the couch after too much wine and too many reruns. Other nights they curled up in the garden under string lights and kissed under stars. Maya once whispered, I think I dreamed you before I ever knew your name. Celine smiled. I think you saved me before you even meant to. A year passed, then 2. They traveled when they felt like it, built when they were inspired. But they always returned to that same crooked little house, and each other. And then one morning, everything shifted again. Softly, quietly, without fear. Celine came into the kitchen holding a small box. Maya looked up from her coffee. What's that? Celine didn't answer right away. Just crossed the room, set the box on the counter, and opened it. Inside a ring, simple gold, warm. It's not about marriage, Celine said. It's not about papers or legal things or ownership. It's about standing still with you. It's about saying, this is my life. This right here. Maya blinked. Are you asking? I'm offering. You can say no. You can say not yet. You can throw it at my head, and I'll still love you. Maya stepped forward and took the box. Do you remember the first thing I ever said to you? No. I was too busy thinking about how to make you stay on the phone. I said, I think you've got the wrong number. Celine smiled. You never did. Maya took the ring out and slid it onto her finger. Then I guess it's the right answer. Celine kissed her. Not like fireworks. Not like thunder, like home. Like every quiet thing that ever mattered. That night, they danced. In the garden without music, just bare feet. Candlelight, and laughter. No one watched. No one needed to. The world had already seen them fall, fight, burn, rise. This part was just for them. Just to women no longer running, no longer afraid, still choosing each other every single day. If you enjoyed this content and want to support the channel in a special way, try clicking the thanks button below. It's the one with the heart and $sign icon. With super thanks, you can make a direct contribution to the channel, which helps me keep creating awesome videos for you.